What we really want to explore is, not so much how many press releases you put out and that kind of stuff. We find, though, that there are two elements when a community is named Intelligent Community of the Year that seem to be persistent. And one, I think, is more important to the communities than it is to ICF, which is promotional. The second one, which I would define as structural, which is really important to us as a think tank. The promotional one, though, is significant, yes. I would think, and I'm going to ask you more about it, in that you take the fact that you were named the world's most intelligent community and you promote it. You put it in videos, you talk about it when you're going around the world, and it helps with a lot of things, including economic attraction, yes. Right? Business attraction. We often hear stories from the Smart 21 all the way up that the day after they were named to our list, they got a call from a site selection group or a company in the Middle East that was looking for a location, and they came to those communities. We hear story after story about businesses moving in to intelligent communities because, all things being the same, wouldn't you rather have your business in an intelligent community rather than a stupid one? So it's easy one there. And we know that's important, and we're, I think, acknowledging that, and I think we're pretty good at communicating the Intelligent Community of the Year award. The second one, though, is of value to us, and I call it structural. And Mayor Halloran, of course, you know this very well now because you're the chairman of our Association of Intelligent Communities. Professor Park, of course, is on the board. And what's important there is that because you've been named Intelligent Community of the Year, you are now part of a body of 100 other communities that will be sharing best practices, doing cross-cultural platforms of innovation, sharing ideas, but continuously feeding ICF information about your communities and others that will help us continue our study, continue to share best practices, and continue to bring the rest of the world along to the intelligent community movement. So if we can, I wanted to talk about both of those things. We'll start with the promotional because I think that's probably the one everybody thinks of first. So I guess my first question to each of you is, what was the reaction in your own communities in Waterloo and Suwon when you were named the Intelligent Community of the Year? Mayor Halloran, we'll start with you in 2007.
Yeah, it seems so long ago now. There was great excitement when we won the award, and I think it's because I think about Stratford, there's so many of you here, and I'm not sure how many are from Windsor, but we had quite a crew of our community leaders and media with us when we were here in 2007. So there was just this excitement amongst us, and when we were named the Intelligent Community in 2007, I think we still have the win the award for the most hugging and kissing that went on because there was just this love of our cities, and I know how the mayors feel when you see your cities and you see your videos. We get teary-eyed as mayors, whether you're a man or a woman, because there's such a great sense of pride in your community. So when we went home, the media was really engaged and really excited about it. We had receptions and we had banners in the city, and we had already gotten things ready in Intelligent Waterloo because we had had a committee working on it for several years. So we had quite an engaged committee representing all sectors of our community. So it is now part of our DNA. And I was thinking about that when I was coming here, and I thought, what are we doing with this? But it's just ingrained now that we're an intelligent community, and we call ourselves Intelligent Waterloo. And so our school children think about it, our universities use it, we use it globally.
I remember you had bookmarks in your library.
Oh, we've had everything that you can imagine. Websites and bookmarks and banners and receptions, and we had a conference. I know Shirley's here, we had a conference that year. It's attracted a lot of global attention. We're now looking at how can we go to that next level too as an intelligent community, and using our think tanks, a lot of our global community businesses put it on their marketing tool. It's part of their marketing. When I go out to talk about Waterloo globally, it is opening doors for us in China. And I know that because I've been successful in going to China a year and a half ago and signing a friendship agreement with the largest city in the world called Chongqing, China, which has a population of 33 million people. And one of the big attractions to them, and they were looking for opportunities in North America, they came to us. City of Waterloo, 125,000 people, but with a really strong global impact. And having the intelligent community recognition was really important, and it really gave us a lot of prestige with that partnership. So we are actually now forming very strong business partnerships. John Young and the gang were just over there recently with a crew of our local people, so we're finding great success in using that. And I could go on and on.
Yeah, well, no, that gets us started very well. There were a lot of hugs and kisses that day. I was fortunate enough to be involved in that.
He got a few too. Yeah, just a few.
But Professor Park were a little more reserved in Korea.
Yes.
But what I got was the best kalbi in the world, the grilled beef when I got there. So that was the equivalent of getting good hugs and kisses to an Italian who likes to eat. How about Suwon? What happened in Suwon last year after you were named Intelligent Community of the Year?
If I speak, let me tell you quickly about the Suwon city. Suwon city is just south of Seoul, and its population is a little bit more than 1 million. And it is the home city of the Samsung, you know the Samsung company. So that you can imagine why our city is named the most intelligent city of the year. Actually, last year we applied the first time, so we had not expected it to be awarded, but unexpectedly and luckily we were awarded as the intelligent city of the year. So Suwon mayor as well as the Suwon people were so happy, and we're so pleased to be awarded. But we still think that reward is for what we achieved, but also it is a kind of encouragement to do better what we are supposed to do. So we do a lot of hard work to make our city more intelligent. But in the promotional side, we hosted last year Intelligent Community Conference, and 300 people all over the world visited our city, and it is a 2-day conference, and Mr. Jakarila was also attended. Also, Suwon City has also broadcasting system, so we broadcasted our award to Suwon people as well as the Korean people. And Suwon City also supports a lot of the projects. So in every project, we allow to use the ICF logo on every catalog, home pages. Yep. And also, I was appeared in Discovery Channel to
That's right.
to show how we developed our city.
That's right. You're on the Discovery Channel. Yeah.
So that's what I can comment on the promotional side.
Yeah, that was very good. Do you need an agent, by the way?
There is a downside to being named an intelligent community. Yeah. Yes, as a mayor, whenever something goes wrong in the city, quite often the first start of if we're such an intelligent community, why can't we fix our potholes, barking dogs, whatever? So it comes with a little bit of a jab.
Well, it raises the bar, as Professor Park said.
That's exactly it. I was just going to say that, because we are always challenging ourselves to be better, and we'll pilot projects where we want to be the best. Right. And there's this real sense of pride, and like I say, it's permeated our community now. It's just kind of part of our community DNA, is that we're an intelligent community, so we should be the best. Yeah.
But again, Professor Park raised a good point, which I want you to both address, which is the process improvement of it all. We've been talking to people from Smarter Cape and some of the other places that are looking to become the next Waterloo or the next Suwon. And what I always tell them is the story of how Intelligent Waterloo was actually a committee of people from all the different sectors, and that even after you were named Intelligent Community of the Year, you've kept that committee intact.
We have.
To continue to explore ways to go to that next level. Is there something there that
I think
that
that's
we need to
really
know
important.
about?
Now the community has we're reinventing ourselves, because it has been 4 years. So we're having those next level conversations. What is the next step? What do we want to start looking at as our goal, and where we're going to achieve it? So, but having that community and that strong base, again, these were people from the high-tech sector, the universities, our local schools, our community nonprofit groups, libraries. It was a very fulsome group, and all the voices for community were at the table, and that's really important.
Yeah.
You know, an intelligent community is all levels, social, you know, economic, our children, our students. An intelligent community embraces every single sector of your community.
Right. It's the body of the community.
body
It's
of
not
the
just
community.
one sector.
That's right.
Like the IT sector or something like that. Same question, Professor Park. In Mayor Youm's nice letter to me the other day, he said that constructive changes have occurred and that you continue to work on it. What's going on in Suwon to sort of keep together the thinking that propelled you to the Intelligent Community of the Year?
We, Korea, have very good IT companies like Samsung and LG and SK Telecom. They produce a lot of the IT services as well as products. So for us, it is kind of a privilege to use those products and services. And in Suwon, we do a lot of efforts to provide a better service in area of the e-governance and e-control center, e-education, e-providing jobs, e-trade, electronic trade, something like that. And in Korea, many people are very interested in using the smartphone.
Right.
So we use a lot of the services like...
Wait a minute. Did you say smartphone?
Yeah.
I'm from Waterloo. What do we use in Waterloo? Thank you.
Sorry.
I can't believe it.
You're from Suwon. What do they use in Suwon?
Smartphones.
Yeah. We use that.
We're very intelligent community.
Samsung phone. Yeah.
Both great.
Yeah. Anyway, we use a lot e-travel, e-weather, a lot of the electronic services. But nowadays we want to more focused on not only the service itself, but also more human-oriented service. What would be, the best service for humankind, rather than just providing information, but also improving the quality of the human people's level.
Yeah, and that's a good point for us to talk about a little bit, because again, when we start talking about the structural side of now all of these intelligent communities working together, you kind of preside over them. You're sort of the platinum circle, if you will. What can, and being in service to the human is, in my view, why we even come to work in the morning at ICF. What can we do as intelligent communities to further move forward that notion that everything we do, whether it's technology, whether it's education, whether it's religion, whether it's cultural, is in service to that citizen who needs to express themselves in this world more and more adequately in free places? Is there anything that, or am I thinking too grandiosely about what an intelligent community is capable of?
I don't think you're thinking too grandiose. I think we have to. I think it's incumbent upon us to always be looking at ways to improve the quality of life for our citizens. Something that we're embracing in Waterloo, and I'm really excited about it, is the Age-Friendly City Initiative. That is a World Health Organization designation for cities who want to look at how is a community providing services for seniors. So that if a city is providing services to an 80-year-old, then an 8-year-old's okay. Like it's a kind of this 8 to 80 and age-friendly initiative. And we're apparently one of the first cities globally to be really taking this on. So we have committees and subcommittees of seniors who are looking at the city from planning aspects to, what are our curbs like, what are our doors like to open up for seniors, what type of tech products do we have that are senior friendly. Yeah. This is something I'm really excited about, and it makes you really think. It's easy to just kind of provide services, but when you have to think about seniors, an aging community, how are we providing those services for our seniors? And we're in the midst of this. I'm very excited, and I hope when I come back next year that we have the designation.
Yeah, and we heard from John Goggin at Cisco this morning, and you've got the Intelligent Senior Living project up there that's being developed, which is
we do. Yes,
kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But it also goes to the point of, as we are both in increasingly aging societies, as John Goggin said today, nobody really thinks of themselves as old.
No, we're all still hip kids.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I look at somebody my age and said, man, he looks old.
Guy.
Same age I am, probably younger. But what's important there is for economic purposes, we need to continue to reach across that threshold and to keep those people connected because there's economic potential there. These are people who have been successful in business, successful as parents, successful in all kinds of endeavors. And in America, for example, when you get to be 62 or 65, you get sort of cast off. But what a tremendous resource if we can keep them connected in our intelligent communities. Is that something worth thinking about in terms of being in service to the human?
Yeah, we have been thinking about that, but actually we don't have a kind of a perfect solution for that. But I think we have to keep thinking about the senior people and the poor people. They are kind of isolated from the cutting-edge IT services, right?
Yeah.
So that's the one thing we have to keep in mind. And second thing we have to keep in mind is the responsibility for society. Like nowadays, we talk about the sustainability of the city, right? So not only to making city more intelligent, but also we should focus on how we can make our city more sustainable and more healthier. So this year's theme is personally I really like, because we have to think about the seniors and the health by using broadband technology, right?
Yeah. How does Korea think about that in terms of health? I mean, there's a tendency to think about health, I notice, there perhaps much more than even in North America, where we think about our health after we lose it.
Samsung company, for example, spends a lot of money nowadays to develop e-health service, but all kind of their research issues are kind of, it's a secret.
Right.
So we don't know how they produce that kind of service in next 3 years or 5 years.
Right.
But what I can tell you is that we Korean people are very interested in providing kind of e-health service for seniors and for isolated people.
Yeah, and there are projects like that. I know in Gangnam, for example, our Intelligent Community of the Year in 2008, they've got a program where seniors allow themselves to be wired, have sensors on them, and if falling down is one of the biggest problems with our seniors. They lose their balance, and there's now the capability to have the emergency services team know exactly where that person has fallen, the position they're in, and to actually begin to think about treatment before they even get to the door of the person's home. So those things, I think, will have tremendous impact in sustaining us as human beings. There's 7 communities out there that are in a position where you were in 2006 and where you were in 2009. They're hoping that they become Intelligent Communities of the Year. You never had this experience, so I'm going to ask you a different question. You did. You were in the top 7 one year, and you didn't become Intelligent Community of the Year.
We were just smart then.
What advice would you give this year's top 7, irrespective of the outcome tomorrow at 2:30?
I think you've already won. You've already been acknowledged for what you have done. So there's always has to be a winner out of the pack. So I would just say take great pride in attaining this recognition where you're at, and apply next year, because we did, and we were successful. So I think it's really important to not give up, focus more, and then when you go back, kind of look at, okay, where were some of the areas that we can fine tune and we can build upon, and that's what we did. We went back to our committee. We started, went through our application again and fine-tuned it and brought more information. And, it's such a wonderful recognition for us of what we did. And again, it brought such great pride. For me, the great joy is being able to speak to, especially our young students. I talk to grade 5 students, because in our curriculum, that's when they learn about governance. So I do a lot of speaking to our students. And the first thing I talk to them about is that we were an intelligent community, so you're intelligent students. And their faces, like it really is, you start right there, building that sense of pride in your community, and what can you do with that moving forward. So I congratulate all of you. For me, it's fun because I went to nursing school in Stratford, and for people here from Stratford, it was in the 70s, so there was not much there. And when I look at to the city of where it's at now, I'm just so impressed. And Windsor, I used to work for the federal government and travel to Windsor a lot. And again, I see the growth and the development happening in your communities. And I'm really excited. And I got to, as a Canadian, holy smokes, to have these two great cities in this is a pretty proud moment for all of us.
Yeah, that's
very proud. But I'm proud of all of you.
Yeah, they've come a long way. Professor Park, as you said, you had sort of a game plan that was going to put you in the top 7 after a couple of years, not to be sitting here today talking about, gee, I'm the Intelligent Community of the Year, let me give you my advice, but you are.
Yeah.
So what advice do you give to the top 7? Aside from...
Just the same as Miss Brenda. Yeah, just to keep trying to apply for, and then...
Yeah, and that's important for a couple of reasons, to go back to the structural piece of it. Maybe Mayor Halloran, you can answer this question. What you will find when you go back the next year is that the criteria that we offer allow you to perform your own gap analysis. So you'll look at our 5 criteria and you will see where you were short that year. So it may be in the knowledge workforce criteria, it may be in innovation in your public sector, it may be in advocacy. We've heard people today talk about they think they're a little bit weak in the marketing side. Do you remember where you were weak the year that you were in the top 7?
No, I can't say off the top of my head, because there were several areas that we really had to revisit and beef up our application. So I can't off the top of my head, sorry about that. Yeah. I could make something up. But
no, that's okay.
But that wouldn't be true.
No, it wouldn't be true.
No, it wouldn't be true.
Before I continue here, does anyone want to make a remark or ask a question of any of the Mayor Halloran or Professor Park?
I'll go. We were discussing earlier about the communities like yours, Suwon and Waterloo, which have been #1. Shouldn't they adopt another community in a developing country or so?
Yes.
Mentor them, perhaps in collaboration with some Cisco's of the world. Whether this way we can propagate this idea of intelligent community and advance the development in those countries. Would you like to comment on that?
It's a great question, Jack.
Well, actually, that's something that we are hopefully discussing tomorrow with our Intelligent Community Association. This is something that Lou and I and Robert and John have been talking about. Is what is our goal? We've got this incredible synergy and this kind of movement going. So where are we going to go with this? And that's one of my goals and my dreams would be to be able to assist other communities in developing countries. I think the power within our communities here should be shared. And we should be doing humanitarian work globally as intelligent communities, because that's what we should be doing. So I think my friend here has the same, he has the same look on his face.
50 years ago, South Korea was one of the most poorest country in the world, but we were helped from a lot of countries. So now we are where we are now. So we are very interested in helping others. Suwon City has more than 20 sister cities in Europe, in Africa, in Asian countries. But if you are interested in, please contact us. We can share our information, our experience, so that you can learn. We can learn each other from each other, definitely. Suwon delegates sit back there. So in the reception tonight, you can, change your information, contact information.
Thank you.
My name is Sarazam. I'm a graduating senior from Polytechnic. My question for Professor Park is, what is the partnership like between the entrepreneurial community in South Korea and the academic institutions which you have there? Because I've heard on CNN Tech that South Korea currently has the fastest broadband connections. Oh, yeah. So I was just wondering how incremental the students are in helping with that goal.
You understand?
Yeah, you're talking about the relationship between companies and schools, right? Yeah, I'm working for SungKyunKwan University. One is one of the most prestigious private schools. My school is currently sponsored by Samsung.
The entire school. It's true.
Yeah,
and it's a powerhouse of a university.
Yeah, they spend a lot of money for our school, and I think most of our school graduates go to Samsung to get a job there, right?
So you would
And-
say the direction is it's a direct connection.
Yeah, very direct.
They cross right over.
During undergraduate, they don't have to pay tuition. They got the scholarship from Samsung company, and then after graduation, they automatically enter the Samsung company. It's a kind of a great privilege for them.
It certainly is.
Yeah. But this is a very brief example, but in Korea, there are lots of the connections between companies and schools, and government and schools. I'm also working for UCT department. My department is sponsored by Korean government to develop the research, to develop technology in area of the intelligent cities.
Right. The U city it means ubiquitous city. Ubiquitous communications within a city, so that this more integrated sense of an intelligent community, intelligence is everywhere in the city. It's a tremendous initiative there. Mayor Halloran, I'll give you the last word on that question that our friend from Poly asked. It's not research in motion or open text don't underwrite the functions of the University of Waterloo. It's a different system, but you do have a system where a Mike Lazaridis can go to the University of Waterloo and, a couple of years later, he's running Research in Motion, a $62 billion company. So there is an ecosystem there. Maybe you can address that.
There truly is. I mean, for us, we're very, very fortunate to have philanthropic donators in our community, and two of our biggest ones are of course, the co-CEOs of RIM, Mike Lazaridis and Jim Balsillie, but they each have different focuses. So Mike Lazaridis focuses on physics. So he has created the Perimeter Institute, which is the largest theoretical physics think tank in the world, and they've just doubled the size. Stephen Hawking was with us a year ago. He's coming back this September to help us open the Stephen Hawking facility at the Perimeter Institute. I mean, how amazing is that?
That's an amazing place.
And then Jim Balsillie is more of a global think tank, and he looks at the global initiatives and how he can help globally. So he's created the Center for International Governance Innovation, and has helped foster that global think tank agency in our community.
To try to transform national governance at that level. I mean, kind of like an ICF, but for the national.
Yes, international. Yeah. So we, again, are attracting people from around the world to come to our community. He is invested in creating the Balsillie School of International Affairs, and it's an incredible partnership between University of Waterloo, Wilfrid Laurier University, the Canadian government, both levels, and himself. So they're building this huge campus in our uptown core, and we're opening that in September as well. Those two buildings coexist side by side, but we also have a church that has just created this magnificent building and an artistic center. So we have a corner in Waterloo that has two of the biggest think tanks globally, one of the most incredible religious, faith-based buildings, and a center of art. 3 of those buildings have won Governor General Awards, and they're in just this area, like just at the crossroads in Waterloo. And I marvel at it. I absolutely marvel at it. RIM is such a huge part of our community, and they have 34 buildings. They're building constantly, and it's really quite an amazing time to be in our community. But we have other big communities like Open Texas doubling in size. A lot of our big agencies are just, again, they're expanding. And there is a lot of money reinvested back into the universities by both Jim and Mike. Mike has built quantum computing buildings, and there's big things happening at University of Waterloo. So we are very blessed. We're very, very blessed. And again, it's about always being able to be nimble and quick as a city. And if things are kind of swaying this way, like you look at how Stratford's reinventing themselves, and Windsor, we've been going through this for many, many years. And you've got to be cutting edge on as a city. You've really got to be looking where are the trends and how are we going to stay out there.
I think that's a good point to end on, Mayor Halloran. Because to your point, I mean, the story there is this: that the educational network and the private sector are working together to build a better community, and that the people who are the products of that, this is why you do what you do, will then stay in that community if you build a quality of life for them, and they will give back things that will keep returning to you 50 or 60 years from now. That Perimeter Institute that she's talking about, they're studying pure quantum physics, which, none of us truly understand except those 50 folks.
We just smile.
Yeah, they have blackboards in there instead of walls, and people, you go through there and there's like formulas written on the wall, and except for one place, somebody said Zaccarello wants cheese on his pizza. But what's going to happen is that what's taking place there will transport itself to the University of Waterloo, where they have a quantum computing department.
That's right.
And 50, 60 years from now, you will see new industries evolve from that. And it's all because someone decided to stay in their hometown because an intelligent community built a hometown for them. So I think that's a good place for us to end. We could go on forever, but I thank you, Mayor Halloran and Professor Park, for your achievement and your time today. Let's give them a hand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.